Sayera Keno for Riata, and then he tells more dear to Dra and Nadan say, as a Ghana for who sent him a pepper beer frassier, ya unity, was say a banish shepherd or digua quine aponosono, a massame economy no, a idea a frasia say, and Sakraya etimi ebemo, said year 2022, or my Ghana realm him or may acquire a team, na economic hardship, dear any qua settlement for any ehunu, wobada, woba sorry, Nanyamo boy actually at the Acososa, wobada, woba sorry, no. That is the exchange rate. What's the sassy cabebre and sana dollar? Wait me anya kakrebi. What's the sassy cabebre and sana euro ni pound sterling? Wait me anya kakrebi. We watch a setting in Adano. A ideas in a year abba. Yes, I'm a dianiama. Panel France unity. Our 2023 emu media budget review 2023. Yeah, a course so. And our finance minister didn't send way to draw. Now say abani plans any programs I would draw. Yeah, Chelsea we do go one more International Monetary Fund and so. Chese wachi dom ebetai wo mane echi enye sika kakra edi efrimuno efra se ya chese yield positive results na chese edi mfasudie papa ena eba enti se do anu ankasa 2022 mu no woka ena MF4 sam rebel out ne yensa aka na sika kakra no ma fa meso yasne dia economy na collapse economy ni be crash enema tete apansam enema be giegu 2022 Ghana for wura ho kire mu pa 2022 dia fe na fi bi sign just at me mufura sa ho che ne sa hunyehia mu no ye kwa mu ye mfiri mu o ye da so edam na so se ni panyina e wo Ghana ha sei kana monka kana for real kan ka mo ka no kure pa dia en kana mu kwadwa so a was inflation and so tiba from kakra 2022 mu a na numbers 54% ya and then numbers 42% kana for real te bua che se cement bua ya te so ennuane bo wadwa se atete so eno supermarket ya e bua na kan ne ye ton 2022 no was ya na atete so bum ni nyina ya ne hye pa wodi gu akwan ne apono so no ene na temamfo bua kire se ahokyere do so puo ahokyere pempem ya ekwawi akire 2022 mu na so de kire na mo bo ene ye ho kire ye ene ye bre ye pa ye ho ye hu yase mu na do wafo so gufa ene atoto petrol mu wo kwa aboso kan ya spare parts wuntimi nto enti transport first ye tutumu rough no kan oforiate bua kire se o enenu ni nyina eto atwa eniama pana efrase a eyiriti ewo my Ghana mu eti Ghana foi wase mu ankasa mo se aduasa na mo di twa wo mada pa na mo de kan sema odro ede ekire wo mo no sa mo sa fikire mo se na ankasa na mo kan sempa che mampani ekufuado woni kan oforiata esanse wo mo ayebi wase enenu Ghana ha sei de efre se peace asumdue edi akoti dintintiman apomde papa healthy ukuta health insurance a de wohia ne se yade bo patebra be maso wo be ko hospital sikani aduro ne o mayi de afi won health insurance ne eye adwuma ahobambon sem security so no chese ye ginamu ya chese wo ayigiri mu pampe wo bia ntimi meme wuramu abahihye ko awurukase bia wo my Ghana mu afa so akoso mo nkane ne gina se ye o de kakora no a wo mo sra da bi da mra eye de ankane ne egina so yentie yewura kanu oforiata nese modi to dwobu a kire se ahokyere no aba awieye na wo mu yedie ene ne Ghana for enemu.
Mr. Speaker, 8 months ago, I presented a 2023 budget statement economic policy of the government in Kabom budget. At the time, the economy was going through a very difficult period amidst unprecedented global turbulence. A headline in the December 2022 edition of The Economist captured the global situation in these words, quote, 2022 has been a year of brutal inflation. Mr. Speaker, it is no exaggeration to say we cannot find another period in our history where so many different headwinds hit our economy at the same time with unrelenting speed and scale. Thankfully, as the members are beginning to show, and as many honorable members of the House have indicated to me in our engagements, we have together as a nation turned the corner. Turned the corner, Mr. Speaker. We have avoided the unimaginable, but what could have been so easily possible under different leadership circumstances. With a lot of effort, we have managed to avoid empty shop shelves for medicines and other essentials. We have seen no shortage of food. We have been spared the frustrating specter of long queues for fuel at our filling stations. And we have managed, in spite of all the challenges, to keep the lights on. Indeed, as the psalmist said in Psalm 118:23, This is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. This turning the corner is underpinned by the investments and sacrifices we have collectively made during the difficult period since March 2020. Mr. Speaker, it is important that we acknowledge some of the major milestones that this country has experienced in the last 3 years. We could be still and appreciate that despite our challenges as a country, we have been saved from many extreme conditions that others have suffered.
Eti wese ՓrEØS no wose wo how ba ya mane ba ye nanso ennuane ho anye den ye food shortage e wo Ghana ha sei wo how ba ye amane ba ye wo Ghana ha sei and pharmaceutical council for the betu dwa no obu a kire sei sa wo how ani ahokire mu no ebe wi a kire ahwe ye ennuo no de anya papa de free Nigeria no ne China de ye cheap pa inferior no eno na o my Ghana dwa so ebe ba be wura ՓrEØS se ni nyina da mu no ennuo abunkam afaso wo Ghana ha sei ya hu ye hia brem ya hu kire brem no wo se cars answer queue tenten ansa na o manya petrol ni diesel any gas ato enti ni nyina da emuo no aho kire baaye ahu ye hia baaye ti mamufu sofa ye nanso nhye pa e wo no ma aban no edigu akwan ni apon so a edi yedie nam kwan so a eba na enu achi oforiata to aso ebiem se de 2022 die e Ghana ye die mia papa ye braye na o se de koduru ye nyana se na economy no chesa wo kwa enko wo ba ma COVID-19 unity any mu chesa lockdown croford tifie companies lay off wo mo so kwa mu lay off so kura na uji 2000 was we best there and ma 1000 se we stay there ma me pay 2 months bi ma na pure water se zuntos ni makona be kodwon ba akoton a kwana koton enipa no so hwa abontin ya wotie si ya wo kwedi na wakwa akoye enti from 2000 no about 1000 say ya bem ni atiti pay so enipa kwankwa nipa ba ma na post COVID-19 akire awuyehi ane ahokire na Ghana ya totu niema bomba basa rough wo se abano so ehokire ne papa enti dwanto ahine for International Monetary Fund eneja ye dwanto awomu na emu apam emu hihye conditionality de ti mamufu sofa ama senior citizens pensioners omgu Ghana hasenu wushimi biya ti omunka omukwa akadan yenti ensema kenoforiata editudwa.
We invested immensely in education to ensure that school years were not disrupted, and we did so because we knew the alternative would be significantly costlier to our society. That was why the President ensured that our children returned to school earlier to write the examinations to enable us to build a requisite human capital for the future and for them not to lose a precious year. We ensured consistent power supply and kept the lights on to enable businesses and households function despite the increasing costs of legacy energy agreements. We continued paying salaries and wages of all public sector employees and kept everybody at work without laying off our workers, and factored in a 30% increment of base pay for workers on single spine salary structure this year. We invested, Mr. Speaker, in the security of the nation and protected our citizens, including the lives of the 1.1 million visitors who responded to our Beyond the Year of Return program, thus boosting tourism in the middle of the crisis. And we cleared up and strengthened the financial sector to promote entrepreneurship and private sector businesses, including agriculture, tourism, and hotels, manufacturing, etc. Mr. Speaker, 2022 was the most difficult year for me as Ghana's finance minister. On July 1st, 2022, we took what was then a difficult but necessary decision to request support from the IMF to implement our post-COVID-19 program of economic growth. The country was going through a dire period of economic uncertainties and despondency.
And when the Akromo has said, Juma, Nabusumiso, who are to our car, will free your favor. Ebina can for Yata Wajina Parliament, our Brucey. Say, and I which public sector Biaka. Now then go fire Juma one, who we answer, say, we bet you our mocha. And then we say, yeah, Juma, why, a man to you, Fanfro, such as I will hear him. Then I can for Yata, reference, we hear Bruno. Now, for so long, now, one passo. Wamuso you took out of webebe yejuma. It was so chia omukasa ansem no kwa yana. Yen pesi ebeti bi no. Ai, Tua kan on kwa say Mr. Speaker. and Ghana crisis, economic crisis, public sector workers were receiving their salaries. Then can also come from Chawana, Chiampofo Kamas and the Koyanim. Nani Adan Kavua, I am for my Ghana Koyano. Finance Minister can for Ďείšt watcher say. Said ya Ghana from okay, as I said, yeah, Sika share with this Scado Mushibipa. Dear you above any just any by election CDA, Yahuka Krebia Kokoso, Kumahu by election Bia, Ghana, ye economy at Tiapan say, Kumahu, Omuche Bibika Crown Honomo. Oh, nothing of Domuche Bibi, where such a center by election back across them Quemwa. Just say, Ebe Unitia Eba, which rules MPP for Nana just almost sees Yaquan, and come member of parliament in the Quanquarizan and Dada. It is the share air koso ase still now so no abemu panifo no grobe no mo grobe nesu ni nyina dem kan oforete bu a kire se IMF na yakono o akukoduro se anamo bia wo so mu tu enhye bia wo so mu di gu hono mo emo man no etimi gire yie ye de ye wo firi sa wo haw crisis mu no e yade a wo mu tu hu anamo.
As a nation, we must and will prevail. Indeed, our only recourse is to be successful at the upcoming first review of the program in September 2023 and all other subsequent reviews. We are therefore respectfully calling on every member of this august House and all our fellow Ghanaians to support these reforms. Mr. Speaker, to support the effective implementation of the IMF-supported PCPEG, the government has put in place an implementation strategy. Status of progress towards achieving the program objectives. Mr. Speaker, the IMF-supported program will be monitored and reviewed semi-annually based on agreed targets to be met by end June and end December each year. We will prepare for a comprehensive assessment of the targets by the IMF during the first review in September 2023, which will assess 9 structural benchmarks, 6 quantitative performance criteria, and 3 indicative targets in 2023. Mr. Speaker, the IMF-supported PCPEG has also prioritized social protection reforms to ensure that the vulnerable are protected from the impact of the ongoing fiscal adjustment. Social spending on health, social protection, and education will be closely monitored to ensure timely disbursement of funds to beneficiaries. In addition, an indexation mechanism for benefits under the LEAP program will be put in place by end September 2023. Furthermore, the coverage of LEAP will be expanded and its targeting improved to cover the stream poor by 2024.
Abusafania yeti finance minister Ďείšt
Nana budget review Ďείšt de kwatu John Rasebedafie no ense me piepie wo ne de na do so pa enu bi no wate se fa kraka adi kan ba mu ama no na kakra wasande bia so no wache se ha Ghana fo sa fefie jadum enya adwo ni wura se wona ntobio di otio di ofrio ni wura se wona ntobiem ani asina no sa akutia no so fe no wache se ma miseske man sa miseska bi enfi aban ni hwe ana se me pese me kwaje bosia ana me pe supplementary budget bi aka ho na sika ye twato wasi ebedie no anso ye nti me pe sika foforo aka ho se ma enya anka saa anya se we awo kan no just no say ai aya kama pa se mprempren Ghana fo nyina hu budget review ade ko mrache ba fie no na we mi se sika foforo bia se Ghana sika ye die no anso yen enti wo pe bia ka ho na nya se bia eye 9 day wonder chese wo fiti ya na wotumi ya sa magic eye niam ahodo bi ewiase mpani se tuo nya chiginafo a ena timi tuye na nchekire mu no de tudwa kire mu se ne nam so ntia ene wakwa mra hye badwa fie no wa mi se sika foforo bia supplementary budget ne se de edi kan wa hu ni katutuo domestic debt exchange program ekatutuo ya one ma edi sika kototo aban bond ne ekeka ho kwan ofa so hia ebra IMF wo ba mu se ne ni mesi didi kono ansa no betimi aboaye no aye san hyehyɛ de ba frem no so so si pentemprem si prem na wotutu ka ene safo ahia didi nkomo kwa akiri no aboa ne pa ne to so mienu ne afa no non oil revenue no ana non oil tax no watumi agigi ne yie bibi te say personal income tax company tax any value added tax mu nyina no wagigi aboaboa no kama enti sikata ho se potwo enya dia wo ko bi sika bi afri aban wo se wo mfa sika foforo ensan emeto obiom ne ani na so mafo bekai a obubu obosome afim mienu ne aduonu mienu me kire November 2022 ebra wo ko mrahye badwafie na ode oman yakọ homasem sika kwato dwa no sika ekọwi ase mrahye badwam epene so se o man yafe o mapene so wo mode wo mo nkrata enyina ahyase se ebetumi adie no na ye 227.7 billion na no mrahye badwafo agitumuo se sika no wo che se wakuakuam kakra be sa bre ya emprempre yantumi ankwankwa je foforo bia ana wa mabisa supplementary budget bia anka ho a ye de ku yanim kosi sa afene be kwa koguei enu nti wakura ni mudie mu pa na baabi anye masi didi kwa ne de okwan bia so obi nka nkyerɛ wo ye nam kwampa ne so pe edigana fo nyina nya akomatoyam ye ntire no ՓrEØS.
Speaker, for the first 6 months of the year, we continue making progress to exceed our non-oil revenue targets for the year. We have seen improvements in non-oil tax revenue collection despite some notable shortfalls in VAT. However, oil revenues are falling short of expectations due to changes in global prices. We will therefore undertake a downward review of the oil-related revenue as well as the corresponding expenditures to align with the underperformance of some of our revenue handles. Specifically, this will impact the annual budget funding amount. Mr. Speaker, in view of the reasons outlined above, as well as the lower domestic interest payment and amortization following the completion of a part of the DDEP and the reduction in the foreign finance capex, the appropriation has been revised from Ghana cedis 227.7 billion as presented and approved in November 2022 to 206.0 billion Ghana cedis. This is in line with Regulation 24, Sub-Regulation 3 of Public Financial Management Act Regulation 2019, LI 2378. Mr. Speaker, we will therefore not require a supplementary budget.
Enti baby adu ne de wasi enya dia supplementary budget bia ebeba mu okra di Ghana fo nyina enko makoma entom yem kind of ՓrEØS media budget review and that time rashe bedwafie and asansem wo nyina wo so di gu ho wo wie wa mananso wasi wiase so bi tru kohwe nkwa yentu ni nkobwa wuo enti nipa wodo bi na ka bo mu bua no wo beda o mase te sa bond holders yi wo nyina ka ho bi edu pa bi na bufu aba wo mu sinu wo mapete wo mu mu akutukum uka bibi amonti ase na so nkomo kom nkakran asa brabro wo de yate ye twen sa botre na omunya maye no oh enne ka ho bi o a enne ya yakasai debt to GDP ratio best 90% afini ko na wie no na chese ye number 90% was in press what tia best 73% wo de no to nchaya ai exchange rate say kane na ne number 40% ene a depreciate yabedu be 21%. Inflation yema bua na no so kosoro kane na ne numbers wo ham chichima duonum na 54%. Imprepre ka say atia ba be 42%. Interest rate enya downward return. Aja say wi ase no Ghana hanye magusu ye ba no afa ye nimuru ye sika no budget deficit no. Enti enyema nyina kyerese enyema nam ne kwaso pepepe na sane yadi kan dia tudwa no wonuma eye na dum di bua no ma emprempre abedu sam pempen so we no wo bedo o masepa bi ye sa bond holders ibie dru ba bi o mo ka mu no ekire wo benya abokyere ma no brekuro no aso so IMF International Monetary Fund won ma yom ho obatampa watimi aso mu na nufutebrebe no aso am so emenei Ghana ekonanim.
Develop a framework for the V20 Climate Prosperity Plan to attract climate investments from the private sector and initiated the Mutual Prosperity Dialogue to crowd in domestic and external private investment to underpin our growth strategy. These achievements have been with the support and commitment of this august House and the Ghanaian people. It demonstrates that when we speak with one voice, we can achieve what we set our minds to do. Genesis 11:6, it was one people speaking the same language. We have begun to do this, then nothing we plan to do will be impossible for us. Right Honorable Speaker, accordingly, His Excellency President Akufo-Addo has asked that I convey his profound gratitude to this House for passing all the revenue bills as well as expenditure measures. Indeed, Our sincere gratitude also goes to all investors, financial institutions, and bondholders for the sacrifice, support, and forbearance in this difficult period of our country's economic history. We appreciate your contribution towards turning the corner and commitment to partner us in transforming the economy. We must also extend our appreciation to the IMF, the World Bank, and other development partners, as well as the G7 and G20 members who have stood so strongly with us. Mr. Speaker, for the first 6 months of the year, we continue making progress to exceed our non-oil revenue targets for the year.
Ghana for Yata, Ghana photo sample, and walking Kagume, Chelsea, we are Sakodahun and Sahora. One in Panifona Didi, Tiswanya Botre, no how near Binidiate Pay, Ninamu, or Yaboko to 2 Bible quotation, the pace one now. And Yamina Iguanaquem.
Gunaquem. Catch it now, this year. Your debtors, in dollars, yentia. Because Sado a domestic Irish debt restructuring program again. It's what my carry in dollars say
fiscal discipline Baninano. And nobody there be I am a saying
conditionalities.
I'm telling you.
And I would want to introduce new taxes. You see? And existed once and so on. What's that increasing?
Scrap tax back, Ukraine, your honor.
The okay, say what's it? What the policies build the program be about? Offer my bondholders see what the children almost an idea go on with you. And I won't cheer music come from almost go on my say almost from some chassis. What fan some chassis? One fan some chassis. Wow, what's him? Wow, how? And what the children almost an idea go on with you. And I catch your debtors, or may do a creditors, you do okay. Yeah, also with the dollar, a cocoa to your can, or Franco, but still a dollar, I say. Emerson, say 12 to 13, 12 to 13 $12, and the yam. If you can offer at the end, last year, no, and no crown or quack, and a den way, they say I'm a faba. International Monetary Fund, I didn't $1, that's not 12. That the big question is, say, where I didn't euro yet. This is where the Guacamun say, I know. I refer to a bravo man. I don't know, can I say, as if say, and near my yet to any boy day in there to a one yedding. Minisika, Unisika or Peduma for you. Say, I was one for a young day, I can offer you, you might say, or see a check, and any can can rat on this can get the mommy, that's it's just a name born a year, that is issue. And they say we pay crown 2 weeks NASA. I will say that yes, because maybe 1 week 3 days. Catch on say first Ska on say World Bank for report on the buy economic update 2023 on the buy. Almost Ghana has say public sector no your salary no a decrease by best 43%. Exactly. Because you are too near my boom money cost. It is a 2,000. Sabre I do make 9 cities. They say 19 cities, 18 cities. Milo say 10 cities, say Milo no, and best 30 cities. And you see can I depreciate. There's a mini cholesterol, mempe cholesterol, Milka metono. Median 8 cities. Sabre Kaneshi milk, Kaneshi. Mama tam na 2 cities. Na me and 5 cities. Say Debbie am tobacco 8 cities. Kaneshi say. Debbie am tobacco 8 cities. Debbia, and I saw that's what to say. I was your 4 year people so be a Debbia no more back. Also, so them started. Yeah, people and it's a pension. Yet saw one media budget review. Yeah, can offer the quarter of parliament. Then you had that emuno. Was in yourself born Wama bon. Now COVID-19 Russia Ukraine war. Yeah, just a cabo mweja. Russia for 2 bomb Ghana and a bebeto. And your baby young fun and inch. Ukraine now woman air corn. And Russia to bomba. Is there about to Ukraine? No, about to Ghana. And to Ghana, the Bibia Pasca. Bibia say COVID-19 so a unity wa China no. I say no born and what na say. And to nipe who and Ghana so we watch say nipe goose ni wo man bia. Enyuma goose ni wo man bia. Was in nyina ka ho bi. 18 na che say COVID echi Russia Ukraine wa echi Ghana isika sem etosugrum yes say ye na ni nyina dam ni kanoforiata na esie say exchange rate ya 2022 na ade abechi na say eni na enu ananansa na say no kura de daily no kura no etimi sisa was say anya kura na 15 15 cedis and san when ya $1 no say no de was say that so age na 12 cedis and san when ya $1 after so say inflation so atia ba form enti mo amuto nnuane wo dwa so no was mo na mutiri mu odin mu wo supermarket mo ne ade no ye be pim samre ne ma bo edin ye den dey out mo toto ne ma bo mu interest rate kura no na no na ma betina citizen shows na mo ka say interest rate akosoro kenoforiate bu a kire say wo ma tisi say ye hwi amene interest rate no ba na aba form te de form wo Ghana ha mutiri mu ode dodo mo ntete ne ma so na temamufo obre ye ntiesi mo de tudwa.
Mr. Speaker, with approval of Parliament, government set out to achieve the following key macroeconomic targets for 2023. Overall real GDP growth of 2.8%, non-oil real GDP growth of 3%, end December inflation rate of 18.9%, overall budget deficit of 5.9% of GDP on commitment basis, and 7.7% on cash basis. Primary balance commitment basis of a surplus of 0.7% of GDP and a deficit of 1.1% of GDP on cash basis, and gross international reserves to cover not less than 3.3 months of imports. As I've indicated, we have made significant progress on restoring macroeconomic stability, and the narrative is changing. The economy is showing signs of recovery, the exchange rate has stabilized, inflation has softened, and interest rates have declined since December 2022. Mr. Speaker, these outcomes are the results of focused implementation of all the measures we presented in the 2023 budget and the positive sentiments arising from the progress through the IMF program, which I will now discuss.
And right here, you know, they are said, they are to Ghana for another enemy. Some time and penny akufo adwachi, mun supporting the papa na economy na jigu ya Ghana for jigu ya United so. We be a bre na si ebodi chi dom ni eta wo machia ene ne ma betimi aye.
Let us have the courage to be proud about what we can and have achieved. Let us be and think positively. Let us act patriotic and stand firm. With hard work, integrity, fraternity, and mutual respect, we will stabilize and transform our economy as well as build a righteous nation, one of peace, prosperity, and freedom today and into the future. As 1 Peter 1:10 exhorts us, let us use whatever gifts we have received to serve Ghana. As faithful stewards of God's grace, let us indeed be perfectly united in mind and thought and build this great republic as in Philippians 4:8. Mr. Speaker, we are all, including myself, Mr. Speaker, including myself, have indeed been battered and bruised and broken in this past year, but we as a country held our resolve. As a resilient nation, the battle has indeed always been the Lord's. As we sit today, let us use this moment to glorify Him, for He has, Mr. Speaker, indeed rescued us. We have seen that He has recovered and restored some of our losses, and He has revived our economy. Mr. Speaker, we need to rejoice in fervent gratitude to the Lord. We must endeavor to continue to build this righteous republic, united in our resolve to transform our economy, for in speaking one language, and nothing will be impossible for us to achieve.
Politicians in tea, and also for Korean woman. Nipa di bone ni wo ko tu Bible. Na odi ahokyira abesua ni nuanom so. We say the finance minister ՓrEØS na yakwa homa no so. Ne ne financial analyst Європатик ba abankwa akwotwetwe enkomo. Owura ba abankwa ni ma dwemu akwaba de bakra kasebo eso.
Minyo ba meje wo so bibi abokode.
Managers ni strategies egu Ghana nti say de obi e da no so. Ena media budget review akoso na ՓrEØS bu a che say plans any policies ya aban no edugu akwan sunte say exchange rate na fluctuate enyina faako ekọ na eba say ejina ho inflation so aba from interest rate so aba from opani nyina na ye wo Ghana hasika samu nkontabuo ni tuye wo nimde wo suahunu wo mu de wo kan eye sa na ekoso
me da sibiom metie minister ne kakra metie na report na aba so metie mu kakra in sense bi o kan be say ye de tutu ya esi afie twemu na ye hu say bia ne minister ne kan ne kwa na senye ne kwe nti yen fa GDP chese ejuma ye okroma no no se ejuma no ko ni ma na se etisan a na ye de check ka say GDP say o man bi GDP cost right mean say ejuma na okrono ko ni afie twemu 2022 ye GDP as o man no na ye 3.1%. Yes, o man no kwa cost wo ejuma mu ne nyama ye dua okroma no mo services o mo tra oil bibia kaboma enyi by 3.1%. Ya minister ndi tu jai no half no GDP na 4.2. Into with this anyway at so dia with make say a few years start here e bedru half year there e ba say ejuma e cost okroma no akoso kakra asin afie twemu. Inflation so can one sem or say inflation is there 42.5. O share last month inflation ye dey tu jai 42.5. What they compare afie twemu with the full year now and 54.1%. To be track as inflation, so maybe apart from kakra. What share? I did acquire economy mu. Ye here a pan a friend import cover. Import cover just say o mine BBC the CRMA. Enyama yewa o kroma no sika e wo kroma no no. Emu ahini in everything that cra enyama ifiama no ne aba ene na bitimi dia obonyo ka te bedi a ye nya support bi efim bia. Afie twemu ye import cover na ye 2 months 7 days over 6 months but minister ni someone better than no just say sa import cover 2.7 no si abedu 2.5 just say business sia na say o man ye sika wonya ye de kot ya eti kroma no ye didi na ye hwese bi emba bim sa ho de na swat kakra ndi hwese na na just say minister no kan say nye koye ni eba ye import cover de ya nyama hye dan koye ni na enam ye dollar issues are afi we start here who share ye biom o share depreciation of the cedi ye dollar to cedi any Ghana cedi to pounds now so far afi we ye do half year no cedi no ahod na active by 22.4%. So they compare afi twemu ya na o share the whole year a cedi ahod no esoti by 30%. It also share ni mi so abeka se bia cedi na ahod akosoro kakra e bia zi e ka se na hold in ejina kakra but when you compare afi 2021 dia we can say man should have to 2 years because afi 2021 no you see the no e conform by just 4.1% the year 4.1% but so far afi we say 2.4% when they compare last year dia we can say ya there but so enye bibia e see ejina we year because see the ahod ni conform amenu mienu nya ya afeti e okoto ade wo kroma e koso fu obo ekoso ema bibia ebo koso ma menu se aketu akraba ne bidu aketu ayebo nbe ka se purchasing power no ene so perform nti the board ni minister wa mai for half year ene afie twemu ene ye 2021 no ne bitima ka fa in terms of performance no
in terms of performance na minister ka say niama yie eniama na eye no eye book mu ene niama na ye anase the reality on the ground no eniema ye ya ordinary Ghanaian na osofa ye 2021 eniema ye 2022 osofa ye pa no betimi aka say 2023 de eniema ye
eniema ni bi won ma with makase afi we start here no I started improve ense dem du bebi a me ni beso anase bebi anke so man ye kodu ebi ti say yenhwe ye dollar yi o share afi etwemu 2022 ye start afi no na dollar na ye around 6 cedis ye be wi afi no na nam 15 cedis December mu na e ba fam kakra be do 8 ni 9 ho bibi ni teti e ka say ya san kwa ko do 11 it is o share the percentage wise ya we ka say bia still 11 e wona wo so but the compare na afi etwemu e say ye anything
abanko on say wo Coca exchange rate dollar no. Afi 2022 no. Ye loan no dollar na e wo hono mo no. Na kwaya se adwadifo no omanfo no. Omo ni aban no e na fun sika no. Because sabre no ye debtors and as creditors no. Dollar bi na edi tua wo mo ka. But say debt restructuring program ye ekoye no. Enti yense dollar si bia nkonko tua ye ho aka. IMF voso be dollar CB. Afi su kura no. Parliament o ma approve loans bi anu no ne ade. It is still no. Na say dollar no da so gina sa okwa de wo kan level na say Bank of Ghana de. E na me nu nim ye pass Bank of Ghana rate no. Ye mfa anya hwe wo Ghana ha sei. It da so gina level na. No. E de be na ban na ye. Wo creditors a wo do mo kan wo fa dollars nkonko tua wo mo ka. Eti adenti na still no ayakwa MF ya. Dollar shi free 6 cities. E da so agina de agina yi.
O say about finance muna you check the rate of change. Rate of change say I feel you mu na 6 and they go end around 15. That is here you start I feel for around the same 15, let's say 10 kwana is here 11 12 1 man. And now with market bia nyema ekoyi kakra. Alone say in real terms no baby a dollar nje is here 100% gina. Me nya ya nka dollar na nko baby ya start 2022 na 6. Because any number or how be braba kruman minya if you dollar yi it say minister every to share everything one you say you some fast what ya na me use you say in fast one minister person you fast one na say the dollar no e come back to the single digit because you go do single digit ni ya na sa fast one ye person nya even though dollar no ye omo idiom ka foreign currencies mu no ye restructure no ye see ye tia say ente bia person tua biom eka eta ho na odiko eni ma enu just eka no tua nti say yenyan start saka ni tua ni ntimi fa ye dollar no emba from embedura the 98 bioma na che say ye start see dollars ni bioma ye ho bet the pan ntimi no start say even though an improvement of last year no me finance minister any Bank of Ghana omo adwuma na adwuma edin a eso mutimi ye kopa bibia na ye tie asana ye fa bi du bibia die
Mamini we ni say no IMF no conditionalities e wo ho ye wo se etimi achieve ni yakoye nim by election po hwehye a ye sika e bia afi 2023 no a en shedan election year ntino e na say bia expenditure budget deficit no say de obrobro so no e betimi ateso e betimi abeba fom wo hwe by election po sika aban ese no ewo mu a 2024 year election year enkoye wo how enfa mre ye IMF ye betimi amiti ye target
uhwe 50 March obibi by start is abind the core parliament and even expenditure bi o makatikati na bigidi say omo yes because of IMF ishisha other terms to say someone yeah second tranche member third tranche member but inye nim say o man we mu say do election bra abind the bia o ma deficit no equal even so far this year o check in finance minister no kan na your target no say like a deficit na be 6.1 see here ka say na around 11 enu cry election be any one more inti mimi suye mu ni say even though aban ebeso oye IMF share no mimi madwum say bia aban ebeso oye no pushi share no onya sika this year say na be afie be election year no say kwan be da on ma na obi a wetim da ko election mimi madwum mu on face scam that on now say bibia it one bibia aban so no be chin kakra because bibia obey bia no because of more country director or managing nyama no wa no all ma kwan ma untimi nya kwan to say nya be so ye bia na obey nti nhyen de migiri say second tranche no o hwe ne finance minister kan any documents amisumi un kakra na I say nhyen ye ya ewia ne sa e kan nanzia cocoa bills am say restructuring and even the amanoni e kai da wa master team share ya hwe mu say bia ene beko yenu e bia ene be to my second tranche no it but whether say aban be discipline in 2024 the menya too sure because over the years no history actually say aban bia ni election year no ya deficit no o man cost because of nyama o mo ye wo election time.
Ti enimre yi adaje nimre wanya de ma financial analyst wo bia wa wonim de e wo suahunu wo sikasam kontabuo hu Patrick ba abankwa ene ene no etwetwe nkomo yi
enti fra onyonko wonu so fra na nyonko nkantia de se hwe sabra FM eja kwakọ na sokọ e wo kokọ na himfie ha and something the age term the mamono, and I can offer yata, swap for her gun, the sick as 7 years so, or copy of a few way a media review budget, and what the quartu jan, the moon come up, and not yet do so do some more fee from wamu, no swap be a gun, I sick as some your Bob Princess say, Yachina. Na enkoma wadie nya watie interviews are na meja kwire se sia mu nkomani nyina watie no minority almost from rashe bedwafie meja dom kuma no ba no dafo yera doctor case lato forcing and odi atodwa no wache se can operator se sen obeso akira Ghana for se say aban na eba ne homoden enti yantonyom fra mo na se sen de na o maye homunya hute wamunya foko bibian ho maye se waso o ka kire Ghana fo nyina se ba bia yadu no enema guso ese san kakra enema ye enti Ghana ni bia nya ni da so waboa afekwa na enema mu page say things are worsening ene se papa kirem sasa papa den kwamo na de what's GDP debt to GDP ratio eswate exchange rate eswate interest rate so bafu ate inflation so kura kaja da form team na adi enti na obegina ka kire Ghana for se papa ne se ma oka no obo no che se adansi enti ne kuma bo so nkro so ehia hwe munyina ho na munti asema mbeka no na me ntia mo se ya economics mu economics na economic bi one more economics pa ni adi kan Ghana ye economic growth I just want man ye nyini ye koya nim kwa fa so ye enwuma ye labor force ye technology adwina de adwuma ne ade nyina no ha eso te na motia mo yembe hye from 2.8% grabu se say na 1.5% na me ka kire mo ni atoso bienu kenoforiata wo Ghana fo ne mrahye bedwafo nyina amane obubo bosumi da afimpi mienu aduonu mienu me kire November 2022 say enya dia obebo busia bia free domestic market ya no anu he yententen no anu he ya no wonye busia bia na no kuransi 5.5 billion Ghana cedis no akwaji abatum na obasa borobiam kura every treasure bill market no aye kro beji besa 41.3 billion Ghana cedis na ye pa yemfa nsa ba bi osuo nka so onye na ba ku atwa wo kra ne se emprempra ye ka sei won ma ye duom ka ma no ne o ma hodo so external debtors no we want to antia we buso asesa no mo ko ye nyina interest payment yo sika bote na nkasa o we buso want me antia enti ba bia Ghana sisi ye ne nam ko sesi ane de jatanum
Parliament celebrated 30th anniversary for the Fourth Republic. It is indeed a great honor for us to today witness the inauguration of a citizens' bureau that is obviously setting Ghana on the right path. I've been told that this is the first of its kind in the entire Africa. We strongly believe that the time has come for Parliament to open up to do more. And that is why today is a major milestone for us to inaugurate such a noble institution. It is wrong for our minister responsible for finance to say that he has successfully turned the corner. That can never be the case. In fact, according to Adongo, he is not even close to the corner. What he has successfully done, indeed, is that he has deepened the wounds of the ordinary Ghanaian. I say this for a simple reason, because of certain factors that the statement has outlined. First, he has revised economic growth from 2.8% of GDP to 1.5% of GDP. This clearly shows that the economy is contracting and it is declining, and obviously it's going to affect jobs and the welfare of the ordinary Ghanaian. Ghana had the opportunity to reduce lending rates downward under 15%. Unfortunately, due to the activities of government, particularly the over-borrowing and over-expenditure from government, Ghana's lending rate and market rate are still going up. TB rate not long ago was about 14%. Today we are doing about 23, 24, 25. We may end up in the 30s before the year end. He's saying that the cedi has stabilized. Our brothers and sisters from the media, the Ghana cedi has stabilized relatively because we have defaulted in the payment of our external debt. If you were to look into the budget, by this time we should have serviced our debt, external debt, approximately 11 billion Ghana cedis. Because we have
defaulted in servicing our debt owed to Eurobond lenders, China, Saudi Arabia, India, UK, Japan, France, Czech Republic, and many more countries. I don't know of Togo, but it could be that we owe them. But because we owe all these countries and because we have failed to service this debt, we have made some savings that is supporting our balance of payment. It is not because he has turned the corner. By the end of the year, as early as January 2024, we will start servicing this debt. And if we are to start servicing this debt, don't be surprised that our currency, the cedi, will start depreciating once again. So it is not true that they have turned the corner. They have rather deepened our woes.
Hey, na wetu aseda no say city we wade me ka 100 Ghana. Pound me so wade me ka 100 Ghana so treska de mamie. Na so ska no watu asem da bi atuma so ka kire pa cho na no na me ko trezam sintino sika no me dia kota de bi to de akire. Ana sika ne sha ne ho. Enti na dafu be hu se sika 100 Ghana chere botomu a se ko jasi wo sika. Wabua sika na da na ka. Enti sika kotua ya kana ka sika ne ka bi ni ho. Hwi ni ko trem. Wo wiye Mrasebe Dwani obutu Bogatanga Central. ＰρEØSakdõwn no so ne be obeso inflation ne ma bo akosoro. Na no so hwese ne osite no.
We all listen to the funeral dirge. At some point, I had to wake up and ask them to wake up from sleep and listen to the man. So when they finally got up and said, I was surprised when they suddenly woke up. They were shouting when they hadn't heard the man. But as my leader said, the finance minister says he has turned the corner. You have turned the corner when inflation is 42%. Is that the corner? You have turned the corner when you are reporting that even by the end of the year, your reserves will only be 0.8 months. That is less than 1 month of reserve at the Bank of Ghana. And you said that is turning the corner. You have turned the corner when the governor and the MPC just recently increased monetary policy rate to 30%. You have turned the corner when the Bank of Ghana has reported that the cedi has depreciated by 30%. So quite clearly, he is not even near the corner, let alone to turn it. You have turned the corner when your central bank, the Bank of Ghana, has actually recorded negative reserves at the Bank of Ghana to the tune of 70 billion Ghana. That is the total borrowing. But our reserve position at the Bank of Ghana today is negative 70 billion. What it means is that all the monies in our bank that they force them to save with the Bank of Ghana that we call prudential reserve, Sikanashi, Bank of Ghana has wasted all that money. All the monies they've been borrowing from abroad in foreign currency to support the city is gone. As a matter of fact, if you even take away government debt that they have impaired of 48 billion, you will see that the Bank of Ghana has a whole of 22 billion. So it is not government. And you come here and say you have turned the corner. What this means is that the Bank of Ghana itself, as we speak, is not fit for purpose. Because Bank of Ghana, as we speak today, cannot undertake monetary policy without printing money.
ＰρEØS Mrasebe Dwani Bogatanga Central. Na nwechi information minister Kojo Pankroma no wache say pam no enu ane mache no. Tobe ni choka nyina no monkan fantum trim say aban no ebesiesie ne moguso na budget na enu ane say de yedie ne de ensaka no ye behwe na amoro so eti revenue kum expenditure o haga na fo nyina agba say expenditure ne yedie no abane betitu so hwim they say help prekura gufu adopa no befo o kwa hani togo betimi afaka just any ma be yeti monkama kuma ntum ye.
No, this is only the review of the budget at the middle of the year. So he's only here to tell us how well we have performed and moving forward what our outlook is like. And from what he said, because of the underperformance in revenue, we are cutting the initial projected expenditure by about 21 billion, which I think is a good thing. About half of it is on interest expenses that we should have paid, which we are saving, and then the other half of it is spread across other expenditure lines. And I think that that's a good start. What we also need to pay attention to is growth, how to ensure that we have a job-dense growth so that a lot of people can get jobs, out there across the country. And then what we have to also try and deal with is the cost of living, so that, the pain that the average Ghanaian is going through because of the various things that have hit us, that pain will be mitigated as much as possible. You are hoping for tax increases. I think there's a new president in Nigeria who, used the phrase that I may borrow, let the
Information Minister Kojo Pankroma of Wasia Rebi Mrasebe Dwani Nene na moti and Mudis Ghana for Rupene, we have a number cut expenditure.
Catch it. Yeah, na ye no. I catch the man bufu kwa the head, Ghana. The Omoyan said one betting Yan or my yen. Dear, the Omeyan or my yen. I can't fit. Dear President Kufu donate what we are telling Dr. Bomia. Don't buy a Ghana or my yen. Be bien where that's a oh, I need the horn we say Wushisika. Now Wushisika, we are, what the Hucha, the Ghana fossil. We increase taxes, we introduce new taxes. Now we are a Casa or Catch budget. pedi o kate dey era akate sika na ma cha wie bi ni wo no de na akate abusuafo yanko yanim e won nsem no emu Speaker of Parliament Aban SK Bagbene ena Samedie wodi afutu ekode ama political leadership amanyoko ahodo ye wo abibrem ama ahodo so Ghana ka ho bi emu panimfo se na ka me se public no amama ya ahodo mutimamufo no ade afeli se gidie trust pass amanyofo panimfo de womu bi womu die asa ebi ni ho na de mampani akufo adada Ghana fo edi omakwakosia chese obesa big time disappointment pass the Ghana fo enya akukuoduro awehemu power president akufo adumu opposition na be Ghana na be siesie Ghana fo bediye obebie bienuma free education chese na se na ba na de akosi nyina na se Ghana se ya trust baby public no na dey se bi ni ba yemo a enipa ni munyansa pa na right honorable Bagbin Buache say no said their trust ni ho no mo de say political leaders ni person mo san so ewi ni wo man for trust dia e wo say no mu ye bia no omo man for e ka ho bi ewram edom hyehye mu no de say we nyina to dwa wo bra citizens bureau in parliament and the year speakers opened parliament initiatives wo bia no e wo ho no mo na speaker eto ansam no so eno si wiase nyina niemesisi weisi efie na yaso na mutimamufo Africa titiru yakoto aba ne de ma political party bi no mu leaders si adoma na hye wo munsa anya da bi da mra apinisi o ha wa ho kire ne kom ya o manfo na mu ne de nipa yedi yenya rehemu we mu no a yedi ekokromoti power amano no a yedi yenkwa ne destiny nyina hye ne nsa no wo bebe ye bibi adoma boa enipa ne ba na obepa ahunyade no asori wo amode power man no atemokon so wo popo nani wo intimidate nipa de ope bia na opeso wo ye eno se gidie any trust ni honom enfama political leadership a wasi ehu papa e de mad democratic governance ka memin ka bi amamwon ento ande wo tufo sane ye be ye na obetie na anu ye ni je wo hwe ni je kura che se timamfo buofo o matu obanya gu obi aso ba ye 2 years ni ye tu na banya gu a de Ghana ye kura ye namu no ya tre ni je kura ku no ba Ghana na nkasa no e na kire se ye de ye tie ho ase ene ye de democracy ene ka memin ka bi da bi da mra David Damera action so mu ye ne ke kan de jeje ye ho wura nya sanka president Akufo-Addo ka there is no way obedina na president awie asori akonto obu a kire say political leadership no wo ma ommanfo enwurawura amanyom no wo mu dwumadie mu na enom emoa.
I've been told that this is the first time in the entire of Africa. We strongly believe that the time has come for Parliament to open up to the more. And that is why today is a major milestone for us to inaugurate such a noble institution of setting up what we call the Citizen Bureau. Again, let me recognize the fact that over the years, CSOs and members of the public have reached out to us individually and requested from us information that ideally should have been made public. Parliament oftentimes has engaged the CSOs on an ad hoc manner. This will be the first time that we will have a structured approach where we will be engaging the CSOs and general public. And that is why I'm particularly enthused by setting up such a great facility. It will again help to facilitate engagement and sharing of information between Parliament and CSOs and the general public. Mr. Chairman, in the process of institutionalizing our commitment to open government civil society organizations and the media play very important roles in our democracy. They constitute the intervening force between the government and governments. They are trusted sources of information by the public and also by both internal and external organizations. This is what prompted our illustrious African, His Excellency, the late Nelson Mandela, to say, and I want to quote what he said, if we want any significant developments, we must co-opt civil society, unquote. By constantly setting the agenda for public discourse, the media shines the light on issues requiring oversight and scrutiny. The media also gives a voice to the voiceless by amplifying the issues that are of concern to the man on the streets. Formalizing the relationship between Parliament and civil society, including the media, is therefore a must-do. It is a win-win for Parliament and the citizens. Besides, Goal 3 of Parliament's corporate strategy seeks to strengthen the representational role and public involvement in the work of Parliament. Hence, the establishment of the Citizens Bureau.
Abusia for mo fan chair paite Samuel Naja. Why story na voice no wodi we akwhye ha no. Enti edi kan bo minority leader Dr. Kese Atofose. Ye wie ne bo majority leader Honorable Seche Mensa Bonsu. Enti ewie paite se de oye no de maaye no. Ya bo ne pepepe edi speaker of parliament Aban SK Backben etwaso.
Enchana asa no wasa ba betobi. Sa de na nye enti wo kwa to ne kasi sansa ne bo ne ebe kosoro pa na public relations officer Institute for Energy Securities Yera Adam Yakubu ene nei wo de enkrata babonten na yegu ye homode ahwese yesa betwin na Canadian komo yegu so yesa kanu a ye de beba
ya fa ka se ni nkwa wie mu e wo Tano South na MCD mu ma for Tano South afomantem Honorable Collins of Finam Techi ensemo a wo de etudwa nyina da ne se Tano South Municipal Assembly no challenges e wo hɔ no mo pad ma wo nti ade efra ni se mpunto development de e ade akwa e na e kɔ from esanse won kɔte aduromra ene aban no wo se adwadifu ahodoɔ business owners ene wo manfo a kyese wo mo wo adwapade on wo so wo mu tua tax no wo mo nyoma de se ade efra nse tax no wo mu betua bi common fund emma na wo manfo a mo so mo water no south mo se mo pay development empuntuo na mo se mo ntua ato no ono abubu a kyese ne na mo bɛkɔ anaso mbeba on bɛyɛ ne dai yenti ensɛm a wo de atu edwa.
The challenge is your budget Sika Dasu said, in some yet very aggressive. Said they are in between the own funds. And the law will be a car. And the law will be court. Or more than a car will be a the Sahara, because they say we coordinating the Ankasa, a tissue from Nyankasa, which is from mobilization into Mr. And when we first said it, Sir Ubidan, one down in this will be Abu. So what the court to her now can be also. Assembly music and good cheer. Court was a bizarre fan, so the assembly make our way here. To Mr. Sir, now only a cabin in the chair.
Abusuafo ne ayeti ye Tano South MCE ahafo Mantemu Honorable Collins of Finam Techi Nene eno no